No, absolutely. And this is a great part about Hollywood is that there's so many ways of playing it. The phases differ from side to side. How you play the very first control point, it differs from how you play the streets, which differs from how you play the end point. So do get a lot of variety. But we are now getting into the game. The Hollywood music has been playing. On the defense first, it is going to be the side of Assertion failed. We'll have that full roster for you guys in just a second, but it is looking like they're bringing us a blast from the past, something that C9 I think actually still runs to this day, but a lot of teams have abandoned. We are going to see double builder defense coming up. For those who don't know what that is, that means that you have both a Symmetra and a Torbjorn. Both are building classes, both put up turrets. You get the teleporter from the Symmetra, and the Torbjorn has a lot of sneaky places to put a turret here on this part of Hollywood. Torbjorn, of course, the one that's really fallen out of favor more in recent times, but has been effective, especially for teams like C9. So sort of happy to see the variety here and see Torbjorn have more than a 0% pick rate.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, on the offensive team, it looks like they're going to be running a fairly standard lineup. So we have Casper on Lucio, Foe on McCree, Frisco on the Pharah, AGM on Mercy, and the Jeffrey back on Reinhardt, and V on that Zarya pick, just to try and probably dam break a little bit. It's a really solid pick here. I really like the Zarya. It's become pretty much standard, but I do love Torbjorn as well. Like, Torbjorn to me is a super fascinating pick because, like Symmetra, if you hold that first point, you can collect, for just a little while, you can collect so much scrap and give your team so much extra effective hit points that it then becomes really difficult to push through. And Molten Core just stops the push dead, so you can buy yourself so much space and time here as the teams do start leaving the gate.
One of the players here to watch, of course, will be Frisco as he moves on the Pharah. Pharah attacking on Hollywood is one of the more dynamic engagements you can watch in the game. Oftentimes it has really big fireworks, although sometimes the Pharah will just get destroyed by a Widowmaker. And one thing that Frisco's going to have to give a lot of respect to right now is Dot. If Dot is able to shut down Frisco heavily here, we might see Frisco just swap to a Widowmaker of his own. That is going to be the real test here. But here we go. The offense of No Fast Guns not wasting any time. The Torbjorn turret dying immediately. As really interesting approach here coming up from the offense. They're not going right on the point, they're just going off the flank. And doing so, they kill the Torbjorn turret for free. We'll see if it pays off.
I mean, they lost their Reinhardt there as well, which could be huge. Now they have to wait for him to come back. And he's going to have a hard time rejoining with the rest of the team. So they are a little bit split right now, and they're looking a little bit indecisive what to do. I did like the engagement, did like moving straight to get rid of that turret as fast as possible, just so that threat is completely gone. It's very easy to take it out, because it's not going to dodge you. It's a turret, it doesn't move. But now they're sort of stuck, although V comes back, does pick up the Reinhardt, and looks like they're ready to go.
Yeah, they're moving him right now. The Reinhardt is back in. Both Reinhardts trying to charge each other and miss as Frisco takes out Torbjorn. V onto the turret. Both sides down some players there. As Dot and Mini absolutely cleaning up. No answer for Dot over the top. Dot has a triple kill here in this fight. And again, this is sort of the pain on Hollywood, is that if you don't have an answer for Widow, it can be rough. Normally, I would expect Frisco to go Widow here. The only reason why he's not switching just yet is that he does have a barrage. A lot of ultimates are up for the offense, despite getting wiped out here. So if they move quickly, they could have some real opportunity here.
And Frisco, just eats a big chunk of damage. It does manage to land in time, won't get quite killed by it yet, but they have to be so careful not to lose Pharah early, because if they do, they will have nothing to answer the job. But it looks like they're ready to go on the point.
Yeah, Pharah's going in. He's going to knock the Widow off. Landing rocket after rocket, but it doesn't matter. Yumasui getting the double kill. Frisco not having a good opportunity to use barrage just yet. Going to go down way before he gets a good opportunity. The offense was smart on that point, but Yumasui absolutely coming in on a triple kill right now on this fight. But let's take a look at Foe. Foe coming right back in turn, gets a double kill for himself, but defense vastly outnumbering the offense as this fight cleans up.
Yeah, absolutely. Dot managed to sort of juke away from that Pharah, bought themselves a little bit of space, and did manage to sort of pick a couple of things off there. So Dot playing very well at the moment, staying alive despite this pressure. But I see V is almost ready to go with the Graviton Surge. Can they make something happen off the big wombo combo that they're looking for? But also Horrific on the Torbjorn does have that Molten Core ready. And that's going to really actually stall out the push, because Molten Core hits like a truck. Looks like they're ready to go.
The offense sound barrier coming in, not wasting much time. Down comes the Earth Shatter Technicide, going to feel the brunt of it. Symmetra going to go down. 2 quick kills here for the offense. And Dot goes down. That's huge. Foe takes out the Widowmaker threat. The Resurrection from Dahun, though, going to bring it back up. The Graviton coming in. Frisco was not able to get a wombo onto that. He died earlier in the fight. And the defense now, even though they got hit by that Graviton, they're starting to restabilize, and they're going to hold.
Yeah, a little bit of panic coming out from V there. The Graviton dropped there, but no one could capitalize on it. Didn't quite realize how many of his team had died, perhaps, so wasn't quite prepared to basically just no damage followed it up there, and Graviton Surge on its own isn't going to kill everyone. And meanwhile, that turret as well just sort of stood in the background, just did so much damage throughout that fight as well. You definitely can't discount the ultimate turret there. And meanwhile, Mini is actually looking really good right now. He's ready to go with Earth Shatter. So they might try and stall out this push a little bit, try and break the barrier down as best they can, and then just drop that Earth Shatter, stall any aggression. And there's only 1 minute 30 left, so there's only about 3 pushes left to go, but it looks like they're ready to start this one.
Yeah, they're moving in. They're taking the long way around. Torbjorn will pay the penalty. They get the Torbjorn turret truly for free this time. No one dies in the process. And the teleporter goes down as well. So they're getting everything down in the back line. We do see the defensive Reinhardt coming in, drop the hammer, got a lot of value. 3 quick kills here for the defense. And Tui not really going down at all in all these fights. Able to pick off the other team to his leisure. The Jeffrey now almost going down. Has nothing left. Flashbang not going to kill him just yet. Still somehow staying alive against the assault from Tui. Will go down. Foe, though, with the Deadeye for the offense, picks up the double kill. Won't be enough. Has Technicide on the ropes. Going to get taken out, though, as the defense coming back into the fight. The teleporter is down. They're going to hold this. And I gotta say, if there's one mistake I think the offense has done here, I think they stuck with the fair way too long. I would have loved to have seen Frisco and Widowmaker much earlier, just to put more pressure onto Dot and some of the backline of Assertion failed.
Absolutely, I completely agree. I think Dot's just being a little bit too free at the moment, and it's just making their life hell. I did like that. Oh no, Frisco's gone down immediately just for the type of disengagement. Well, we're going to have a really hard time here, I think, CP.
They are. Frisco isn't going to be in there at all. They just went in 5v6. Tui with the cleanup takes out the Jeffrey as he finishes up a double kill. Horrific even killing the McCree. That was just scattered. The offense sort of went in as like, wait, Frisco's dead. There was no barrage follow-up, and now with only 7-6 remaining, we might not even get an overtime here.
Absolutely, yeah, looks like they're just moving out. They're just a little bit out. They won't be able to get to the point in time, and that is it. A full hold from Assertion Gaming, looking really solid there. And I've got to give a shout out to also Techicide, just managing to drop a teleporter in mid-fight and get a Reinhardt out through it. That's value. Like instantly, that's a 500 hit point tank on the point immediately with a 2,000 hit point shield. So I did like that panic teleporter come out as well. It's just good presence of mind. But here we see AGM coming in probably with a pivotal res on the point, as we expect out of the professional level Mercies. Then we go straight onto the point. 3 people take it right back up, and the fight is resumed once more. Looking really solid for Assertion Gaming.
No, Assertion failed definitely looked pretty good. And I mean, really the 2 big takeaways that happened there is that A, Tui was a rock. He was getting everything done. I don't think he was really focused too much because they're focusing a lot on Dot. When you don't have a Widow to counter another Widow, the other Widow eats a lot of your focus. And in the end, the Pharah did not work out well. And one thing I've noticed a lot in a lot of these games where there's clearly a better hero switch up to be had, but you already have ultimate on the suboptimal hero, teams will stick on the suboptimal hero going, well, I might as well use the ult. But then if you don't get an opportunity to use the ult because your engage is terrible because you can't counter-snipe the Widow in this case, you can run like 3 pushes with a barrage that just does absolutely nothing because you never have a good opportunity to use it. I feel like there's a point in games where it's just worth giving up the ult, going to the better composition and trying to win on that rather than, hoping for a miracle engage.
Absolutely. It's the decision-making side of Overwatch that I absolutely adore. Just the hero pick decisions that go into it and what drives the offenses, what the win conditions are for the team. So, for example, they wanted to try and push the Zarya and Pharah win combo, basically try and grab the enemy team and barrage it to death. But just not being able to tame that Widowmaker meant that even if they got the barrage off, it would just get shot out of the sky immediately. And that meant that, well, Frisco had to go and jump on Dot, couldn't quite confirm the kill on Dot, and therefore they could never get the combo to work. And so it's that decision-making side, the win conditions being set up and then not reached, prevented by the other team. They knew that, hey, we have to keep Dot alive. We have to keep that pressure of the Widowmaker shot going onto the Pharah, denying that combo is so important. But meanwhile, it looks like we're ready to go here. So on No Fast Guns on the defense, we do have AGM back on the Mercy, the Jeffrey once more on Reinhardt. Casper going for the Symmetra, Foe onto McCree, V on Junkrat, and Frisco on Widowmaker. A very standard lineup coming out from them.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Frisco back in the Widowmaker. I mean, it's one of those things where I really was hoping that he would be on Widow for the offense, at least a little bit earlier in the last round. It didn't happen. We'll see now if with Frisco on the defensive Widow, if they can hold out just the same that Assertion failed held out against them. But it looks like we are going to be going back to the lobby here. There is some sort of technical difficulty going on the Assertion fail side, and that is okay. That actually gives us some time to talk about our great sponsors that are sponsoring this event. And tell us a little bit about the Video Game Voters Network. You've done it way better than I have. Let us know who they are and why does it matter.
So the Video Game Voters Network are an excellent little group that I've been following for a little while. I've seen their work before with like internet bills like SOPA, for example. Whenever that kind of thing comes up, Video Game Voters Network pops up and basically says, hey guys, pay attention to this because this is going to affect you. And this time they're talking about visas, specifically player visas in esports. Basically, what they want is people to be able to get access to athletic visas, these P1 visas. So when you're traveling to America, you apply for one of those. It fast tracks you through the visa system. Make sure you can go to America, compete for money, play the game at international LAN events, and have a good time. There's been some high-profile cases, for example, a very recent one in Counter-Strike Go, where a team captain couldn't attend a tournament because he traveled to, I think it was either Iran or Syria within the last 5 years, and so had his visa application refused. And it's all these technical details that goes into traveling to America. It's absolutely an issue that could affect Overwatch as a team game, where you want to have everyone there and everyone available to play and move around nice and freely. So that's what the Video Game Voters Network are trying to highlight and trying to draw attention to. There's been a link regularly posted in the stream chat. I recommend going and checking that out, just spending 1 or 2 minutes reading what they have to say and signing the petition just to raise awareness for this issue, because if it's not raised awareness, it will bite us in the ass in the future when we're going to have a tournament and someone can't turn up and it casts everything in doubt, and it makes me so sad when that happens.
Absolutely. And what it comes down to is sort of equal rights. The governments of the world got together a long time ago, decided that for more traditional old school sports, we're going to afford you rights in terms of traveling from country to country for competitions. And esports, same level of competition, should get the same equality and rights. Either way, though, we are moving into the next map. Both teams seem to have settled their technical issues. Quick shouts out to our other sponsors, Razer, of course, for making great gear for your PC, mice, mouse pads, keyboards, headsets, all that sort of good stuff. Check them out, Razer.com. And Master Overwatch. If you're curious about your statistical performance in Overwatch, want to compare yourself to the pros or otherwise, give them a shot, masteroverwatch.com.
Absolutely. Somewhere, ZP, I like to think Hexagrams is smiling at both of us. We're doing such a good job trying to do vlogs here, trying to hold it up as best as possible. I don't think we're still not on his level, not on his gift, but we're getting there, I think. It looks like we're ready. I
mean, for us, we're trying to be trained to be sellouts, but he was born a sellout. So at some point, you just got to deal with what you're given with. But take a look here at the defense coming out from the side of No Fast Guns. It's going to be the Jeffrey on Reinhardt. Not Jeffrey, but the Jeffrey. Frisco on Widowmaker. V on the Junkrat. Casper on Symmetra. AGM on the Mercy. And Foe going to round things out here on the McCree.
Meanwhile, on offense, it looks like they settle on their lineups. And Mini running the Reinhardt. You Must Hui. It's one hell of a name on the McCree. Tech aside on the Lucio. Dot back on Widowmaker. Horrific on Zarya and Dahon. Or, yeah, I think that's how you say that name. On the Mercy. And looking pretty standard all round, I'd say. Nothing too sort of unusual coming out here. The probably going to set up and spam away nice and merrily. I'm very curious to see, though, You Must Hui on the Mercy, well, not the Mercy, on the McCree, sorry. Words, English. I speak it, I swear. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with Frisco's Widowmaker. They're relying a lot on Dot here, but it looks like they're just going to go straight in, maybe wrap around the back of the building, standard engagement path, just blow straight through those Symmetra turrets. They're not too big of an issue here, and if they're getting something happen quick, although Yubasui's going to be a little bit careful there, did eat a bullet, but will get healed up nice and fast. They have to be a little bit careful because V's on the high ground. He's going to wait to sort of rain grenades down on the team. They are sort of clumped up, being very careful at the moment as they try and find what angle they want to take. Just deciding now to go around the front, and looks like they're ready to go.
They're about to be rushing here. The offense charging in. Mini leading the way. Casper, though, immediately taking out to him. There will be no resurrection coming out here from the side of the offense as the defense just absolutely smothering. Frisco getting the double kill as they rolled in. Dot was not able to get in on the Frisco. And this is the power of an uncontested defensive Widowmaker. If she does take out the other Widow, she is free to feast. And really just well played by the defense all around there. Everyone getting their licks in. And most importantly, Casper a mere 20% away from getting his teleporter up.
Yeah, Casper jumping in, very aggressively going for targets, building up that charge as fast as possible, and now the teleport's probably going to be ready by the time the next push goes in. If one of those orbs just clips someone that he's spamming through, it's going to be very difficult. It looks like they're just ready to engage again, perhaps trying to deny that teleporter.
Yeah, they don't want to have the teleporter come up. 2 quick kills here from the offense as they move in. Earthshatter coming down from Mini, trying to solidify this fight, swinging the hammer inside the building. 4 kills for the offense as Dot was able to take out Frisco. That sniper threat is down. The offensive Widow doing its duty. Dahoon going the rest of the Fallen, and this is looking phenomenal for the side of Assertion failed. Their offense right now is doing what No Fast Guns cannot.
Yeah, Casper managed to break away during the fight, did get the teleport up, so it has balls in the lifeline to stay in this fight as they come out of the defense. But Jeffrey lands an asset that does claim many people with it, but no follow-up there as V's just forced to sort of dance around trying to avoid damage. And there's no follow-up on the back of that, so they just managed to claim the point, and that's it, straight away. Assertion failed. Winning with style, winning looking really good doing it.
Yeah, and I think what really helped them out there, of course, you had a multiple team effort there. You must Tui went off. It was a pretty good engage coming out from Mini, but Dot was able to take out Frisco in the Widow v Widow battle, and that was something that Dot never had to worry about on his defense on Hollywood. I think you really go back and look at how No Fast Guns went in on things for their attack run. I think if they had put Frisco on Widow earlier, it would have went better. And by the way, no rest for the weary. We are getting right into Kings Row, map number 2. No Fast Guns versus Assertion Failed. Assertion Failed up 1-0.
Yeah, no fast guns, but lots and lots of fast games. Just playing straight away, going right into it, hoping to set up as soon as possible. Back on Kings Row, back in wonderful London town. And I'm super curious to see how they're going to handle this. Are they, who's going to come out on top on this sniper battle? Because that's determined a huge amount of these games. Frisco versus Dot. And if they can create that opening, if one of them gets a slight advantage, it wouldn't surprise me to see the entire game sort of pivot around that point. That said, Foe's definitely been no slouch today. He's been finding flashbangs, been finding kills again and again and again, getting into those brawls. And once the team fight starts to break up and fragment, Foe's been the one that's generally sort of brought it to No Fast Gun's side. He's been looking really solid here, but it looks like there's some interesting picks right now. But meanwhile, just as they run out, just because it's way more stable, I'm looking at the defensive team. You've got the Jeffrey. I'm so curious to see if someone else ever picks the name Jeffrey, what he will do. But it's the Jeffrey on Reinhardt, Casper on the Lucio, Foe on McCree, AGM on Mercy, Frisco on Widowmaker, V on the Junkrat. So no Symmetra coming out here for the defending team.
Yeah, and the no Symmetra, again, is a little bit surprising given how much we've seen her on defense. And given you look at, for example, on Hollywood just a map ago where you saw the double builder defense coming out from the side of Assertion Failed, I'd imagine the Assertion Failed at the very least would be running a Widowmaker, if not more. Junkrat, of course, pretty standard. And again, we are going to have the Widow duel on the way. Frisco versus Dot to start things out. This point, though, a little bit more favorable to defensive Widow just because it is hard for the offensive Widow to get the sightline she needs. But if the offense is able to get a kill or two, that can really open your offensive Widow to clean up the rest of the team.
Absolutely. Once the offensive Widow gets onto the sort of the ground behind, if she can get into that position and be uncontested, it becomes virtually impossible to hold the point without putting a huge amount of pressure on that. So it's going to be super curious to see what comes out here. Meanwhile, Horrific actually going back on the Roadhog pick. So we've seen Roadhog come out here quite a lot as the team sort of goes around. We do see Junkrat in this traditional spot, camping out in the hotel, spamming away, trying to buy space for his team. But Dot looking for the pick. Can he quite find it, though, is the question, as he's just dancing around the hotel. But meanwhile, this Junkrat's just laying damage after damage after damage, and he's having a good old time in there. Meanwhile, actually, Hui's actually wrapped around on the Soldier 76, sprinted over, he's taken the high ground for himself, so they're pushed back behind the hotel, and this is looking really good for Assertion Failed.
Yeah, the Assertion Failed offense game there. Down goes Lucio. We have Hui with a pretty good advantage in terms of positioning. Technicide takes out V. The hotel was cleared out. Both sides getting into the resurrections are in play as Dot able to take out V again. And Dot now in a really good position to start laying down the Widow Fire. He's going to back up a bit, not being too aggro here.
Yeah,
but we'll see how things go. The offense decided... Yeah, the offense is being a little bit cautious here. They don't want to give too much in the way of ults here. But Dot able to take out Foe, and the offense getting into him right again, taking advantage of that pick. Jeffrey going to take out Dot with the charge, but Resurrection of the offense coming right up, and the offense wants to make something of this right here, right now.
Yeah, they've got to do something about the Frisco, however. Dot's engaging the door right now, but Humasui goes on the side, drops a rocket on him, and sets him up for Dot just get a very quick pick there. So this is really solid right now. Mini still on the point, holding it nice and tight, but Dot in position, uncontested at the moment, trying to land those snipes. V does actually shift Mini off the point, however, and does land a brilliant shot onto Dot, so will actually buy his team a lot of space here, and actually might have just saved it for him. Staying alive, landing shots that he needs to, good target priority, and taking everything out one by one, being the stalwart force that Zarya is. Love it.
Well, that was the case where we've seen a lot from very good teams when they defend here on Kings Row. They bended on the defense, but they did not break. They were able to get back into the fight. No teleport required. Both teams, though, pretty much load for bear ult-wise. Both have 3 ults. As Horrific gonna take out the Jeffrey. Gets 2 quick kills on the Roadhog. Take the side now, flanking around the side. Will drop the barrage. Gets 1 kill, looking for more. Is going to stay on the McCree for the double. Gets taken out, but might not matter. The offense now in an absolutely dominant spot. 5 people on the point, and the payload should be moving in just a moment.
Holy moly, that engage was something really impressive. So normally most engages rely on a McCree to basically jump forward, throw a flashbang over the enemy right hut shield, and then you shadow off the back of that. You use that opening to sort of cause something to happen. But Horrific came in, dropped the whole hog, and the whole hog, of course, just tears apart right hut barriers. So opened that up for his team, made sure that he could find engagement there. And he's Horrific's got forward, bound forward, but had to reload. Didn't have anything left in his pip, so couldn't land the kill there. Now he's stuck out on his own, and this is really dangerous for him.
Yeah, the defense wasn't done yet. The defense was looking like they're going to charge in, but this is where the defense needs to be careful. You don't want to go over aggro here. We've seen teams even as great as C9 fall victim to this idea that they have an advantage on defense, they move forward, but you go too far forward, you can chain deaths and give up a huge portion of that for free. So good on the side of Assertion failed right now, or sorry, on the side of No Fast Guns to back up a bit, give up some positioning. But here we go, the offense now moving forward, land the flashbang over the top. The defense, though, sees an opportunity, moving in. Graviton in this hotel room here right now. We'll see if it's enough. 2 quick kills coming up from Frisco and Foe. The offense not out of it yet. The Resurrection coming in. Resurrections everywhere as both teams string into quite a brawl on top of this payload.
Yeah, so the Res is so huge. The Horrific finds a double kill. Manages to use that whole hog pit just to clean, just to put damage out. Mini lands it perfect. Assertion picks up the rest of the team and might actually buy enough space for the rest of the team. And because they were so far forward, I'm not sure they're going to have to be back in time to hold this next point on the street space. So they might go all the way to the foundry here, especially if Dot ranges a little bit forward, tries to find what pigs he can, make it very difficult for the enemy team just to get into the position they need, to force them to group up, get behind a Reinhardt barrier, because if they don't, they could stand to lose 1 or 2 more people, and this is looking really, really good for Assertion Failed at the moment.
It was looking like the defense of No Fast Guns was going to be able to back up, but hang on, here we go. They're coming right in. Jeffrey charging in, gets immediately taken out. Dot takes out Frisco. Widow v. Widow. The offense being unrelenting, moving forward off that Lucio sound barrier. Gets the hook on the V. V going to get hammered down. The defense in shambles right now. Bad engage after bad engage is giving Assertion Failed all the opportunity in the world. And just a note on that past Streets fight there. Really, No Fast Guns could have gotten out, but they just stayed a little bit too long. But hang on, the offense not wasting any time there, or the defense pushing forward, going to push the offense back, and the defense just being very hyper-aggressive right now. Sometimes they're a detriment on.
Yeah, I mean, the attacker keeps it back up, they're sort of falling back in. It looks like they're ready to go once again. There's the sound barrier coming out, Mini charging through, but meanwhile, Yumasui finds a double kill with that Dead Eye. AGM forced back into the fight, does pick everyone back up, but does give the Resurrect advantage to the attacking team right now as the Horrific lays down the whole hog, pushing Casper's back, and they're going to struggle to stop this payload. That's the objective here, and they're going to get it really far towards the end, but there's the Graviton surge.
Graviton surge coming in. I'm not sure they have follow-up they need. V is really charged up. Sometimes there can be her own follow-up, but not right there. Graviton not connecting. Mini swinging the hammer, trying to take control of this payload. The defense swarming back in. That might not be enough. We could be in death chain territory. Mini going to drop the hammer in more ways than one. And now Frisco, one last people remaining. He's going to go down. Reinhardt having the time of his life, like I don't even know, but they are able to get to the final point there. And that pretty good run from Assertion Failed, although I feel like there was a lot of unforced errors from No Fast Guns. They kept sort of running into them at times, so they could have just backed out a bit.
Exactly. It just felt like, you know, with that, especially push on the street phase, they just never really recovered from that. They never found their balance again. Here's the engagement coming up from Horrific, by the way. They just blew down the Reinhardt barrier and engaged at the back of that. I really do love that kind of play where you just force that opening and then just engage as hard as you can on it. I also think that Frisco played a very careful game with his Widowmaker in that first point, just holding back, taking that sort of safe window by the hotel rather than the more aggressive one. So couldn't put a stop on Dot, who was just free to snipe as he pleased as well, and got a lot of kills off the back of that. Just very interesting fights overall, a little bit over-aggressive at a No Fast Guns, punished for it repeatedly, gave themselves so much space, and so a time of 5 minutes, 23 seconds set overall. Not impossible to beat. Kings Row can be a very quick map, but definitely going to be tricky.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. I mean, that time to beat is a pretty harsh time to beat. We have seen quicker times in Kings Row, as mentioned, but I don't know. I mean, the way things are going right now, it does seem like Assertion Failed. They have been together longer as a team, No Fast Guns, and they're sort of outplaying them on multiple levels right now. And I feel like No Fast Guns, they suffered from the most. Not so much mechanical play, but, you know, sort of getting back to what we were talking about before, it was just sort of bad decision-making. I mean, again, I'm going to point to the Streets phase where I feel like that was a turning point. That Streets fight where they went into the hotel room over-aggressively and got punished. They could have backed out completely there and waited for another point, and that looked like what they were doing, but they sort of stayed in the fight. They gave up 4 kills, and after that, all the momentum went in favor of Assertion Failed. So No Fast Guns, hopefully they show a little bit better judgment here on their attack. But the problem is that now at the time of 5:23 to beat, they have to be very aggressive as a general rule and just hope that things work out.
Yeah, I think No Fast Guns sort of underestimated the power of the Mercy Res there. The street space, especially on Kings Row as a whole, there's so many corners and sort of turns and sharp twists that Mercy Res has a surprising amount of power. It's very easy for her to get in range of the enemy team, well, not the enemy team, of your team, but be in a completely safe place, completely out of sight. There's so many little hidey holes for her that she can just pick the team right back up, and that's exactly what happened. They looked like they were going to get a bunch of good kills. Mercy picked everyone back up. The re-engage happened, and it just went completely wrong. Shadow coming through, taking the team apart. But meanwhile, looks like the defending team has set up. So we will see Assertion fail running Mini back on the Reinhardt. We do have Horrific on the Roadhog. Yumastui on McCree. Dot once more on Widowmaker. Tekicide on Lucio, and Dahun on the Mercy. So no Symmetra once more.
And take a look here from the offense coming out from the side of No Fast Guns, a team that has to go fast indeed. It's going to be the Jeffrey on the Reinhardt, V on Pharah, AGM on Mercy, Foe on McCree, Casper on the Lucio, and Frisco going to be on Widowmaker here. So they are going to be running Pharah and a Widowmaker, something I think they should have done back in Hollywood. We'll see if that has more use here, as we'll see if Frisco can take out Dot.
Yeah, no defensive Junkrat here, so they can sort of afford to take a little bit of time in pushing in, being a little bit careful. They do go right for the Roadhog, charging in for him, take him out with Foe, finding the kills, and now Farah is actually going in the back, just hunting down Dot as well. So excellent kills there, and they look set up on the point right now, CP.
V was able to take out Dot in the back. It was a tremendous kill. Landed both rockets right where he needed to. Now chasing the Mercy in the back line. Mercy running for her life. Dahun going to go down. V coming alive here for the offense. This is exactly what No Fast Guns needed. They have momentum in their favor as V. 3 kills so far on this push. They are muscling out the defense of Assertion Failed, and they're going to get this point in a record time.
Like you said, this is absolutely what they needed. Buying themselves as much time as possible for pushing forward. Didn't also have to use any ultimates there. Now they're going very aggressively, trying to hunt down the other team, trying to make sure they don't get set up. But Dot does find a pick there on Foe. Might slow them down a little bit. The Horrific, oh, lands the hook onto V. Cleans him up nice and quickly. That's what you want out of Roadhog. Those quick, decisive picks, just making sure your team stays back into it. But they're pushing forward now. They're holding, again, quite far forward on this street space.
They are holding far forward, and this is, you see this more and more often. Teams don't like giving up this part of the streets phase, because if you get wiped here, usually you can get back by the end, so you sort of have 2 tries on the defense. But the offense right now, they're not going to be showing any mercy. They need to get in right away. V does have Barrage at the ready. We should be seeing Justice Rain from above very shortly. Doesn't have anything to really set him up, but he really needs it if you just set up properly. Here we go. He's coming in over the top. A beautiful approach coming in. Might see the Barrage at the Mercy in a moment. Not running it just yet. Fearful of the Roadhog hook. And in fact, will take out Dahun without the Barrage anyways. Both teams down 2 players, but the defense down their Mercy. We'll see if the offense can capitalize on this opportunity, but looking like Roadhog, Whole Hog pushing everyone back.
Yeah, the street pick just making himself shown, but Frisco takes him out with a counter shot. Now it's just Frisco and AGM on the point, but that could be enough just to gain a little bit more ground, buy a little more precious time, because again, they don't have too much of it left, so they have to be a little bit careful not to sort of stall out too much, but 2 people pushing it forward. But this is where it really starts to get difficult to push through. This is where the spawn distances start to favor the defending team, so they have to be a little bit careful. But Jeffrey looks for something, but you must be stopping him.
Well, time-wise have about under 3 minutes left. Mini moving forward off of that defensive sound barrier. The defense trying to be aggressive. Buy time for at least 1 push. As Dot takes out Frisco. And now this is rough. 2 people down for the attackers. They're not in a good position. Mercy Resident V gonna get picked off by Horrific. 3 kills for the defense, and that bought them about a full minute by the time the offense is reset here. 2 minutes, 35 seconds or thereabouts left here, and this is looking very, very good for the defense of Assertion Failed.
Yeah, No Fast Guns still pushing quite far forward. They don't have that far back yet, so she will be a little distance away. That said, looks like Assertion Failed just wrapping around. They might be trying to catch someone off guard, but they got to be careful that the payload doesn't get pushed sort of without their notice. Frisco swapping away onto the kitchen. Well, there's the Barrage coming in.
Barrage coming in, but not getting a whole lot done. Dot was able to take out the Jeffrey. Dot on a triple kill here. Takes out Casper. Dot unaccounted for, looking for V again. V coming off the res. We're able to get V under assault. Has to run away. The offense still with a lot of pressure here, but AGM going down the Dot. Let's talk about Dot right now. This pushes. Dot has been absolutely unaccounted for, getting shot after shot, takes out the Reinhardt. V finally takes him out, but a lot of damage has been done. The offense, though, not doing the worst job in the end. Even though Dot was doing all that work, the defense did lose people in the back. Mini one of the last people remaining, and this is going to be close. Time-wise, only about 1:30 remaining, so still a little bit of hope left for the offense.
Yeah, Frisco now dancing around Mini, trying to find what damage he can. Does eventually take out that Reinhardt. It's not really good fight for Rhino. And 1 person res there, of course, and Mini's just picked right back up. Mini's isolated. They'll get taken out right away as well. So it looks like the payload's going to sail all the way to the end here.
No, they didn't get the checkpoint. Or did they?
They just got it.
They did.
Just got it. Tekicide trying to run forward, try to stop. It does pay for that with his life as well, but they managed to take it, so they will respawn nearer now, and this is looking really good for No Fast Guns. If they can keep it moving, if they can get 1 or 2 more ultimates up and running, and they do look in a good position as well to set it up. They have swapped off the Genji, however, so Frisco going back onto that Widowmaker, and 1 minute left on the clock as Bo sets stuff up with a Deadeye, rolling forward very steadily.
Deadeye is up. They have to be worried here on the defensive end. If the offense wins this next team fight, they have a real chance of taking this. But a big Earth Shatter comes down. Mini rushing in, knocks down 3 people, takes out the offensive Reinhardt. That is exactly what the defense needed there. But the offense, they're going to res up. They still have a chance here. Jeffrey still has Earth Shatter. V still has Barrage. Jeffrey moving in, going to drop a hammer of his own. 3 people hitting the deck. And here comes the offense. 2 kills off that. Jeffrey going in hard. The defense, though, coming right back. This is extremely close between both teams. It's Frisco able to take out Dot. Now Frisco as the Widow in the back, unaccounted for. Hui going to take him out. The Lucio speed boost and Sound Bear on the way from the defense. This is super back and forth. We're on our second res here for the offense as Jeffrey going to drop the hammer again. Or Mini dropping the hammer again, picking the double kill up. And that might be it. Time-wise, there's not enough time. They're not able to get to the end, and that is going to be GG for Assertion Failed. They are moving on.